Welcome guys to this yet another amazing video where we'll be trying to do and cover some very interesting formulas. The goal for today to complete an interesting formula is the formula by the name of Vlookup. Vlookup stands for vertical lookup. Similar to Vlookup, there is another formula called as HLookup. Office 2019 and the later version of Cloud Office have also come up with a new formula called as XLookup. However, XLookup is not released in all the versions of Office before Office 2019 and so on. So we are not, or you could say we are unable to use that particular formulas in this case. We'll go by the traditional formula called as Vlookup. There are various methods by which we can calculate the grade and remark of a particular student. We can do the if condition, which is the most traditional format of doing the if condition. You could say you can find the if condition or use the nested if condition to find out whether the percentage of the student lies in a particular slab. If it lies in a particular slab, then the percentage of the student or can be given a particular grade. However, we are not going to use the if condition because it becomes very tedious and the formula would be quite long. To give you a small example of what are slabs, for the Vlookup formula, we still need to create a slab. So I'm going to your extreme right of the screen where we have calculated the grade and remark. We can use this particular area to create a grade slab, or we can simply go and create a new sheet, name it as a master sheet and create a slab over here. So I'm going to create three different columns over here. One will be the percentage, second would be the grade, and third would be the remark. So we are going to create slabs over here. When I mean slabs, I'm going to say 0% to 40%, 40% to 55%, 55% to 65%, 65% to 90%. This is a slab. So anything above 90% will receive the grade A. In the slab of 65 to 90 will receive the grade B. In the slab of 55 to 65 will receive the grade C. In the slab of 40 to 55 they will receive the grade D, and finally E for the person who is getting 0 to 40%. Similarly, we can give a remark in the form of merit, say distinction, first class, let's say pass, and let's say fail. So we have a very interesting table which shows us the various slabs of a particular percentage. So guys, once we have our reference table in place, we are going to use this reference table to derive the Vlookup formula. Now in order to derive the Vlookup formula, we are going to use this particular table, call it inside our Vlookup formula and try to find out the particular grade or the remark for that particular student. So before using this table in our Vlookup formula, we'll need to select this entire table and give it a name. If you remember guys, we had given name while performing the rank formula. We had selected the percentage column and given it a name percentage division A. Similarly, we are going to select this entire table and giving it a name, say grade remark. Once we give it a name, don't forget to press your enter key. So whenever you select your table now, you can see the grade remark name being given to this table. Another good habit of remembering these names is I select usually the range nearby or some place wherever I can store that particular name. I'll merge the cells here and type the name grade remark so that it's easy for me to remember this name, what name I have allocated to this particular table. So what I'm going to do is select this entire selection and I'm going to create it as a border table. I'm going to give it a background color just for me to remember that this is the grade remark table. Either you can keep it over here on the top before the percentage grade and remark headers are placed. Now I'm going to go back to my sheet 1 where I'm going to start by typing my Vlookup formula. So guys, try and follow me as I do the Vlookup formula along. So we start with typing equals to Vlookup. Many of the feedbacks that I've received is that I should zoom in on the formulas. So here you go. I'm trying to zoom in on the formulas so that you get a better view of things. So Vlookup lookup value is what? I'm going to have to select my percentage column. Since I'm going to look at the percentage, I'm going to select Vlookup M2. I'm going to look for this particular percentage in which table? The table name that we have given to the particular selection which we created in our master sheet is by the name of what? Grade remark. Right? Now in that particular table, the grade remark table, I mean, what is the column number of grade? Now remember how to determine the column numbers. The first column in my table is my percentage column. The second column in my table, grade remark, is the grade column. The third column in my grade remark table is the remark column. Since I want to fetch the values for have the grade formula. However, there are some slight irregularities in this formula which we'll be trying to correct after we derive the formula for remark. Similar to the grade formula, we are going to type the same formula for remark. Let's type this formula. So we are going to type Vlookup, bracket open. I'm going to select the same percentage, comma. I'm going to look for this percentage in the table, grade remark. What is the column number of remark in the table grade remark? I know that the column number is 3, comma, and I again have to look in a range to find the remark, and hence we use true for approx match. So there you go guys, I get my distinction Oh my god, so many distinctions. There are no second class or first class, or let's say first class. Okay, I have a few failures. So now let's look at the formulas carefully for what you say, the grade and remark. I am noticing that the student who is actually failing, is given the grade B and is also a distinction student. In this case again, the student is actually failing, is still given the grade D and is declared as pass. Now I need to correct the formula for grade and remark, just like we did for the rank function, and I have told you we are going to use the if condition to correct formulas and get our right answer. So let's try that out with this particular VLOOKUP formula. Just as we corrected the rank formula, by using the same technique we are going to use to correct this particular grade and remark formulas. So guys, now we have a grade and remark, but let's look at the data a little carefully. I can see that there are slight irregularities in the formula. Student who is failing, as shown in the cell O, or in the column O to be very precise, is being given the grade B and the remark distinction. Similarly, I have another failure who has been given the grade D and is shown as pass in our remark column. So we need to correct these formulas. We are going to use the same technique we did with the rank formula. That means we use the column O to check whether the student is passing or failing, and thereby corrected the rank formula to allocate rank to only the students who are passing. Similarly, I am going to allocate a grade only to the students who are actually having a particular grade. Otherwise, by default, if the student is found to be failing, I would give him the grade E and give him the remark as fail. Similarly, so let's start correcting our formulas. I am going to double click on my cell. I'm going to type if, bracket open, if the column O2, that means the cell O2 from the column O, shows that the student is fail. If the cell O2 from the column O shows that the student is fail, then show the E grade. For a failure, we have determined E grade in our grade remark table. Similarly, we have to enforce that rule by typing the if condition, in order that instead of looking at the percentage, now we are now along with the percentage column looking at the column O2 and determining whether to give a particular grade or not. So we are using the column O, taking the reference from the cell O2, checking whether the student is fail, giving the grade E. Otherwise, if the student is not fail, that means he is already passing, we'll do the VLOOKUP and give him his approximate or whatever grade we have allocated from the grade remark table. I'm going to drag this formula down, and there you go. We have the E grade allocated to the two failures. That is the right formula that we want. So similarly, we are going to try and correct our remark formula. I'm going to select the cell, double click on it, going to type if, bracket open, if the cell O2 holds the value fail, then we should show that the student is failing. Otherwise, simply do the VLOOKUP and find the remark as allocated in the grade remark table. All you have to do now is drag the formula down, and there you go. We have our remark in place. Thanks a lot for staying tuned with us till this fourth session. Remember to like and subscribe our channel, and always follow us. We are going to do some pretty interesting formulas, and we are going to learn a lot in Excel in a way you have never learned before. So guys, Ciao and see you soon.